12:16 almost, and we just learned in the past 15 minutes that Hurricane Florence has been upgraded to a Category 4. We're taking a live look over Carolina Beach right now. You can see it's relatively calm there. Earlier this morning, we saw dozens of surfers, which never really a good idea before those big storms come.
But they always seem to do that.
They always do, no matter what. If it's on the Carolina coast or down south, we always see that.
Yeah, and I want to remind people that this is just not a coastal thing.
No.
Like if you think back to Matthew 2 years ago, most of the damage was inland. It was down on the coast. I mean, like this is not going to be something that's just, this is the entire like Carolina.
We have to be concerned about it. Every single person watching needs to be concerned about this storm right here. This is a major hurricane already. A Category 4, and that is really, we had the upgrade at 11. It was a 115. Now it's up to strong Category 4 hurricane and circulating, moving off to the west at about 13 miles per hour, gusts to 140 miles per hour. Not near any landmass at the moment. It's still to the south-southeast of the island of Bermuda, but on a beeline towards the Carolina coastline. As we take a look at that cone and that track, and it moves towards impact, landfall maybe sometime as we get into, say, maybe late Thursday evening, maybe around 8, 9 o'clock, somewhere around Wilmington. But notice the cone of uncertainty does include parts of the Outer Banks all the way down to the Charleston area. That would include Charleston and Myrtle Beach, those south-facing beaches of North Carolina. So we have to look at that entire area to see. But unfortunately, I think the entire region will be impacted by what happens as this makes inland. And then there's a tropical depression, and that's Saturday morning at 8 a.m. with winds sustained at 35 miles per hour. Between that time, say between about Friday and early Saturday, we could still see some very high winds and very heavy flooding rains here. Now, these are the computer models, the spaghetti plots. Only 2 are indicating South Carolina. Now, it is interesting, as I've watched these since, say, around 2:30 this morning, some of these are taking more of a jog to the north, up towards the Outer Banks. They were a lot farther to the south earlier. So we're going to keep an eye on this situation. Those are all the computer models together. As we take a look and show you, some of those are indicating more northerly up there. Regardless, we're still going to have impacts here locally. As far as hurricane force winds, definitely along the Carolina coastline. Not much of a chance here, but it doesn't take hurricane force winds. Tropical storm force winds can do a tremendous amount of damage. Those winds can be up to about 73 miles an hour sustained. And you can see Charlotte is in that 59% category north of here. Raleigh, Greensboro, almost 80% of definitely along the Carolina coastline. Sustained winds up to tropical storm force. Rainfall amounts. We're talking about exceptional amounts of rain. This is devastating flooding along the coastal communities. The potential there from Wilmington, Wrightsville Beach, Carolina Beach to Morehead City, all the way up into areas from, say, Goldsboro, Kinston, Raleigh, right to the Virginia border. And some of the heavier rainfall could include some of our eastern counties over towards, say, Rockingham, North Carolina, Hamlet, North Carolina, Wadesboro, and those areas as we get into later in the week. This is a look at some of the FUTURECAST winds, and notice that's Thursday night about 11 o'clock. You can see in this green area, those are sustained winds at about 30 miles per hour, and that would include parts of our area. That would be up to just to the east of the Charlotte Metro. Then the whole weather system starts tracking away as we get into early on Saturday, late early Sunday morning. As far as we're preparing for this, coastal areas to the coastal plain, those folks need to be ready today. Today should be, you should finish up everything today if you have plans along the Carolina coastline. For the Charlotte metro area, we all should be pretty much getting ready today, and I would say set and ready to go. You know, the earlier you can do this, because a lot of those things, those emergency kits, the water supplies, the batteries, anything like that, the food supplies are going to start leaving the shelves. So be prepared as we get into this situation late in the week. This is a view from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, looking good. The calm before the storm down there. Got a lot of questions about the difference between Hurricane Hugo back in 1989 in September in this storm system. Hugo's path a little bit different. It came really almost just to the east of the Bahamas and tracked up and moved across Charleston right into the Charlotte metro area. This storm system has taken a jog well above that. You can see right now the path here just to the southeast of Bermuda, but projected path somewhere maybe around Wilmington, Wrightsville Beach, Morehead City and that area. So a bit different than Hurricane Hugo. Not to say that we couldn't see some impacts like that. Rainfall back to the west along our frontal boundary that'll track in our direction has given us a chance of some storms later today. 77 in Charlotte. It's 80 degrees over in Asheville along the Carolina coastline, in the mid to upper 80s out there. Today will be in the mid to upper 70s to near 80. Could be a couple of thunderstorms in the mountains. Chance of rain there. Look for a possibility of rain in the foothills of Piedmont, the upstate. We'll be in the low to mid 80s locally. You go east of here into the mid to upper 80s. A couple of thunderstorms late in the afternoon. Let's check that 7-day forecast. Several days here where we have that chance of showers and storms today. Mid 80s. We get towards the end of the week. That's where we see the major impacts. Friday into Saturday. Sunday's looking okay. Back to some sunshine at 85 degrees. That's the latest. We'll be here throughout the afternoon. And of course, Brad Panovich has more information on that coming around 4 o'clock. But once again, this is a Category 4 hurricane.
You know, and we heard the governor in his press conference saying that they are very much so taking this seriously. They've already deployed 200 National Guard troops, ready to deploy more. Yeah. As you said, preparedness.
Preparedness. Everyone, doesn't matter. If you can watch this TV station, you need to be prepared. The earlier, the better. If you can do it today or tomorrow, then you got everything in place.
Larry, thank you.
Right. One of those things to get yourself prepared. Go ahead and you make sure you keep up with NBC Charlotte on air and on our mobile app. That could be really helpful as Florence moves close to the Carolina coast and then inland. By the way, that app is free in your app store.